Hi, I'm David. I own and operate Country Whatnot Gardens here outside of Rochester, Indiana, which is about an hour south of the Michigan state line. And behind me is another Phyllostachys species of bamboo. This particular one is an Arosacata clone. This is Phyllostachys Arosacata Harbin-Inversa. And like Harbin that we looked at yesterday, this one has some unique stripes as well, but I don't know if they're visible this time of year. The patterned bamboo tend to fade out a little bit as the season goes by. And you can see behind me, the culms are mostly lemon yellow. The grove itself is some probably 12, 14 foot tall. The grove is about 15 years old. And here behind me, we can see on this side some of the beautiful lemon yellow culms. And if we go over here, we might be able to see some of the stripes. I don't know if I can get up there where they're really going to show on camera or not. They're very fine stripes on these smaller culms. It almost gives it a wood grain type appearance. Can't quite see them. Oh, let's see. Maybe if I come in from this way. Here's a thicker stripe here. Most of the stripes are more pinstriped. This bamboo also has the occasional variegated leaf. Right here's one. If I can get it to focus. There we go. And here's another. Right there. But the yellow bamboos, the thing I like about them is that during the late evening and early morning hours, when the sun is low in the sky, these yellow culms are hit by the low rays of the sun, and they're almost iridescent. They become a fluorescent yellow almost. The color is almost unreal in the garden. So if you were to position one of these yellow varieties of bamboo, I would suggest doing it where it can be enjoyed in the landscape, where either the late evening or early morning sun, depending on whether you're a morning or evening person, I reckon, hits it so that you can enjoy that color to its full potential, because it is incredible. And like most other Phyllostachys, same rule of thumb applies to Harbin-Inversa here, that the roots go out under the ground as far out from the edge of the grove outward as the tallest culm is high, in this case 12, 14 feet. So in the spring, we can expect to have shoots out here in the yard as far out from the edge as the tallest culm is high. So as long as you mow those off and keep those mowed, don't let any green growth on those happen to photosynthesize and further sustain those roots to facilitate them further advancing in distance away from the grove, they'll stay within that 12 to 14 foot swath as long as the grove doesn't get any taller. Now, as the grove becomes taller, so will the rhizome length in the yard increase, because it's directionally proportioned to the height of the culms. So let's say in the future, let's say right now it's 12 to 14 feet. Let's say in the future it did like Spectabilis down the way, which is another Arosacata clone, and it became Harbin-Inversa here, and it became 18 feet tall. That means that the rhizomes would also increase that much underground here. So what you can do to prevent that is putting in an HDPE barrier in the yard around the grove where you want it to stop. And you would put that in about 30 inches deep. You would install it on a slight slope like this away from the grove, so that the rhizomes, as they grow outward and they hit that barrier, I'm trying to find a place to put my phone so that I can better explain this with both hands. Okay, here we go. So your barrier you would want installed around your grove like this, with slightly sloping sides upward and outward away from the grove, so that as those rhizomes in the fall, during the quick growth period, late summer, early fall, as the soil temperature is finally hot from being heated up all summer, because the rhizome growth is based on soil temperature and season. So it happens late summer, early fall in this region. And the rhizomes would grow toward the barrier and be deflected upward. Now this barrier would be a couple inches above ground with the rest below. So as the rhizomes hit this and they're deflected upward and grow, you can then clip them off with just regular garden shears. Now the disadvantage to having 2 inches of barrier above ground is that you never want to hit that with your lawnmower as you're edging it. So what you could do would be to mulch on the outside of this to keep the weeds down, so you never have to mow up against that barrier. See, that way you're not cracking it. So you crack that barrier, then that gives an opening for the roots to get out. But as long as you install it properly, those roots are deflected outward in a couple weeks in the late summer, early fall when they spread, and you can just clip them off. So that's how to deal with a Phylostachys if you don't have ample room in the landscape to use the mowing method. Another method that people use is trenching. Some people will put a sand trench in and then just go around the whole grove with a flat spade with overlapping cuts at that time of year when the rhizomes are spreading, and sever those off. It works too, but it's a lot of work to do that. The best method by far that I have found is the mowing method, if you have the space for it. This grove, being 15 years old, let me stand back and look at it. I was gonna guess a size on it for approximation here. I would say it's about 35 feet north and south by I'm gonna say 25 feet east and west on that. So that gives you an idea in 15 years what it can be. Now, I have not mowed this one much off yet. I have a few little straggler shoots here and there in the spring, but not much, because I've been letting this grove advance in size because I want it to fill a larger area throughout this portion of the garden. But it's a beautiful bamboo. It does top kill in the winter, although not as often as Harbin that we looked at yesterday. I would say it top kills more frequently than Spectabilis, which we haven't looked at yet. It will be coming up. So if you live in, I would say, probably a zone 6B, maybe, you might not have to worry about it top killing so much, because we're here in a 5B. So if you win another zone, I think it would be better. It did partially top kill last year. Like, here's a culm that was damaged. You can see the culm died from here up, and from here down it leafed back out again. You can see it's got new leaves on it, and it came back out. And when they leaf back out, they oftentimes are more sparse. You can see this old culm that was damaged last winter and leafed back out has a few leaves here, whereas a new culm that was just pushed up this spring is really, really bushy and full of foliage. So freeze damage can ruin your bud count on your leaves and make the culms less full. But again, when the new shoots come up, they fill out your grove once again in the spring. So I hope you enjoyed that tour of Phylostachys aurosicata Harbin-Inversa, and thank you for stopping by again. Until next time, have a great day and take care. Bye.